What up, channel? It's Foreplayy, and this is just another commentary. First and foremost, before I start this, I hope that you like the CTF. I'm trying to get away from hardpoint a little bit because I was putting way too much hardpoint out, but it was all I was playing, so please try to bear with me on that. I'm sure I'll get back to hardpoint, and hopefully you guys just use my videos as commentaries and try to just listen. But I know hardpoint can get boring. I'm going to try to put out some search and destroy. I'm going to have to go play league play for that, which I will do. I'll get some good search and destroy games for you guys so you can see how I play, etc. This video is going to be about MLG's announcement to having COD on the circuit or whatever there is. I don't know if an official announcement was made, but I wanted to put this video out because I figured that that'd be something that needs to be done. Because it's finally going to be big and it's finally going to take off, and that's Call of Duty. Black Ops, the first one, obviously had good success, but let's go ahead and start from the beginning. In 2007, Call of Duty 4 was released, and I want to interrupt this because I didn't see that guy. Excuse me, I'm getting old. No, just joking. But in 2007, Call of Duty was released in November. The first thing that ever happened for that was the MLG A, B, and C tournaments. For you guys that remember that, that was in January, I believe. And they had 3 tournaments where C4s were allowed, everything was allowed, 3 times frag, etc. They didn't have a rule set made up. And yeah, then in March of 2008, mind you, that's 4 or 5 months later, they announced what is called the Pro Circuit Online Ladder. And what those were in 2008 was pretty much MLG events, but they were online based. And you had to compete from an online station because of the fact that we didn't have any developer support at all at the time from Infinity Ward. And it's a shame, actually. But going into the second one, they basically broke them up by 3 months, right? So they'd have the first one in March, they'd have the second one, I believe it might have been 2 months. And they had these tournaments, and you guys know what I placed because I've done a video on it in the Foreplayy story, so I won't talk about that. But they had these tournaments, and then finally it was leading up into a national championship, and that was in November, which most national championships are in November, and I think it's like that for other games as well. They kind of do it like more towards the end of the year and stuff like that. So the national championship was in November, and then they would try to do all these little tournaments on game battles as well. And MLG finally said, okay, so we're going to do the same thing in 2009, except we're going to lower the prize. So they did the exact same thing. They lowered the prize, which a lot of people quit because the prize was so low. And then they threw in like some other tournaments that were really cool, like the Holiday Classic tournament, which I'm bragging a little bit. We won all 3 of those. And then the New Year's Bash. What else they have, and just like a bunch of like little tournaments like they do nowadays, no different. And that was in 2009. And then going into 2010, everyone was like, finally MW2. Well, hold on, 2009 they had a national championship again, except that one was on LAN. Both of the national championships were the only thing that was on LAN, but it was really online LAN. So basically you're playing online at the event. So in 2008 and 2009. Then going into Modern Warfare 2, everyone was like, finally, this is our breakthrough. This is our chance to finally have developer support, and we got nothing. They did the exact same thing, having these things called the MLG tournaments. They were like MLG 1, MLG Ladder 2, and then they did the same thing on the PS3. So you could compete in the MLG Ladder. For all you PS3 guys out there, I know there's a bunch of you, you could compete on the MLG Ladder A, or MLG 1, 2, and 3 on the PS3 as well. And we did that for MW2, and then finally they had it at the event on the PlayStation, and that was the same exact thing, LAN online, I believe, and that was, yeah, atrocious and horrible. So then going into Black Ops 1, there was finally community and developer support. And there was LAN events, and I don't think that the turnout was that good for those events because of the fact that it was played solely on the PlayStation, and at that point in time a lot of the community was on Xbox, and there wasn't built up that much support around the PlayStation. So you guys know, you MLG heads that followed MLG, you guys know what events there were, how the teams did and stuff like that. And by then I think I was on my break. I was taking a break, and so going into MW3, there was same thing. Everyone thought, how can you go from having these events online to not having, or having these events on LAN to not having it again? MW3 for MLG was completely dead. There was really nothing that took place that was of importance, and other companies stepped up, such as UMG and EGL, and pretty much that's about it, I believe, that had tournaments. And it wasn't really that good of a game either. The game itself could have been a good game, but I meant like the developer support. Then you knew there was a change coming, not only from David Vonderhaar with the multiplayer lead, but they hired Hastro to do the creative advising for the multiplayer lead over there. So you knew that something good was going to happen for esports, if you want to call it that, or just competitive gaming is what I like to call it. So we'll call it competitive gaming. And you knew good things were going to happen. So they hire Hastro, and they're getting all these ideas from him of how to make the game competitive. And then we find out that Black Ops 2 is going to have score streaks because they want to do the best of both worlds and try to intertwine them and stuff. At first, we were like, oh, I hate score streaks. Those are so bad. Now it seems like we're all coming around to them. They were still working out the details, trying to figure some stuff out. And, yeah, so that's that. And then now we're at a point where Sundance, you guys know Sundance, I think he's a co-founder of MLG with a guy named Sepso, and co-founds MLG. He slowly hints to, if you guys follow him on Twitter, like this is an example tweet, he'll say, oh, I had COD for dinner, LOL, you know what I mean? So like he slowly hints to MLG being on the circuit, which everyone can go ahead and assume that it is on the circuit. And if it wasn't, to be honest, in my opinion, they were screwed anyway, because UMG would have picked it up. UMG obviously did pick it up because they've already had a UMG 10K December 26th through the 28th through the 30th. And I think it's a smart move by MLG to pick that game up. And now there's developer support behind the game, so this is going to be a big year for competitive gaming. And I actually have a friend who's an amateur player, won't release his name, and he was talking about, hey, should I finally play this year? Should I finally do it? And I have actually Fierce, a really close friend of mine. He's a pro, or an ex-pro from COD 4. It's the only game he plays pro in. But he's a former pro, and he's trying to come back and play. And I was like, yeah, you're going to do it. And I want to spread this message to you guys. If you guys are trying to play competitive gaming, this is your year to do it, because this will be the breakout year. And there's already a lot of new faces and new names getting made, and there's a lot of good players that are starting to come up. So make sure that if you are ready to play competitive gaming, you do take this year serious. And a lot of people are asking me, Foreplayy, will it be on the PS3 or will it be on the Xbox, and which do you want? I'm an Xbox fan. Don't get mad at me, my PS3 guys. I don't take anything away from your console. It's what you guys have. It's what you're used to. Might even be what you got for Christmas, so at one time. However, I'm an Xbox fan, and I am thankful that it will be on the Xbox, because I can only imagine that they would do that because of the fact that the majority of the community that bought PS3s from Black Ops have sold them, or that was a fail, by the way, that have got PS3s, sold them. And I also think the turnout for Xbox would just be that much bigger, because a lot of it has to do with what people like or feel comfortable playing with, and I just think Xbox is going to be the bigger thing. So if MLG doesn't announce COD, I don't know if it was official or not. You guys could definitely fill me in the comments on that. But if it isn't, I think a lot of companies are going to step up, and this game will still be taken very seriously just because of the developer support. And you have like something like a league play type of thing, which granted it's not the same, and I really hope that they intertwine the MLG rules once those are released, which I have heard from a reliable source that like, for example, if MLG comes out with a rule list or like a rule set, then that means that David Vonderhaar from Treyarch will take that rule set, implement it into league play. So then you could basically just get on, scrim your league play matches through your Xbox match, or like through your league play. So then you don't have to find scrims and stuff, which pro teams probably still will, because pros want to scrim other pros. And I think it'll be a good tool for starting teams, though, and even amateur teams, because you can try to fight for masters, and I'm sure a lot of pros will be playing that because they want masters as well. And I didn't remember that I picked up a sniper in this. You get to see me rip some faces with a snipe. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so going into this video, I wanted to just address you guys, for those of you that weren't sure if you guys wanted to play or not, and you weren't sure if you were ready to take that next step to get into competitive gaming. This will be your year to do it, just because of the subtle hints that are being made. And like I said, I'm not really sure if it's officially been announced, because I haven't really been too much on Twitter in the past couple of days. I've been so busy, like I said. And yeah, I hope that you guys like this video, and I want to do a little update with the like 2 minutes or a minute and a half remaining in this gameplay. And I've been going on a spree with a snipe. I should have got him. You see me miss over his right shoulder, but I got a hit marker. That's stupid. But little updates for what's going on in my life and everything. I finally doing the class setup video. I did that, and I'm finally gonna do like a real life setup video. I want to be honest with you guys. The reason that I didn't do that is I had one done, and it just looked bad. Like it wasn't like something that I wanted to do. Like you know me, like I like to put everything out in good quality, and it was like me with a camera or like my little phone, like my iPhone. And I was walking around just carrying my phone, and I just thought it looked horrible. And I wanted to get like some editing. I'm not saying I got to do like music and crib style stuff, but I did want to do something a little bit better than the type of like walking around with my phone that I would have had. And that's pretty much it. So I got that video coming out, and then also for those of you that wanted to enter the zombie apocalypse, that's the mission where you got to buy any type of G Fuel. Use my code SKY5 or NV5, SKY5 or ENVY5. That's going to enter you into the mission zombie apocalypse. You guys have, I think, a month or two to do that. So try to enter that. And if you guys win that, you guys can see what exactly that is. If there's a video on my channel called Mission Gunship Zombie Apocalypse. Or not Mission Gunship, New Mission Zombie Apocalypse. So definitely check that out. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is Foreplayy from my new team, which is soon to be announced. And the Foreplayy gang, you guys are the best. Peace. What's up, Foreplayy gang? I hope that you guys liked that video and that brief little breakdown of what MLG did in the past and what they plan to do on in the future. Cross your fingers and hope that it's announced, whether it be PS3 or Xbox. Let's just get something going. As always, you know the drill. Video in the top left, video in the top right. Comment, favorite, like, whatever you want to do. Get at me on Twitter. Most importantly, keep dominating your game. Peace.